right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go over 1.5. 1.5 is really important. The stuff we're learning in 1.5 we will be using throughout the year. Again, it's like the distance formula, midpoint formula. You really, really need it. Okay, the big thing about this is angle pair relationships. So a pair means how many? Okay, it's important. Two angles are vertical angles if their sides form two pairs of opposite rays. So look, let's pretend my leg to my arm, one ray, my leg to my arm, another ray. So these angles match, and these angles match. Okay, we can draw a picture. But sometimes the physical action of doing it helps. So we've got two opposite rays. See how they're opposite? Oh, the computer is crappy. The green ones are congruent because they're opposite rays, and the red ones are congruent because they're opposite rays. Okay. Two adjacent angles are a linear pair if their non-common sides are opposite rays. So my two arms form 180-degree angles. They form a linear pair between my head and my arm and my head and my arm. It adds up to 180. Let's draw another picture. Linear pair. See how it shows a straight line? Angle 1 plus angle 2 gives me 180 degrees. Okay. I've already heard complaints from parents. My kid's not even facing the board, so pick up your chair, turn it sideways. See, look, Jacob, Alicia, turn it, and don't crank your neck. Okay. Complementary angles add up to 90. Supplementary angles add up to 180. Two angles are adjacent if they are next to each other. Look, Josh and Colton are adjacent. Colton and Derek are opposite. Okay, it's really important to know the difference. Adjacent means next to. Okay, so for the next problems here, we are going to look at stuff and decide if they are linear pairs, if they are vertical angles. Okay, so we're just going to put yes or no for these. So let's look. Angle 1 and angle 2. Do they form a linear pair? Yes or no? 1 and 2. That forms a straight line. It's 180 degrees. Okay, let's look carefully. Are 1 and 3 vertical angles? Let's look. So we've got angle 3 and angle 1. Do they have two sets of opposite rays? They go opposite each other and opposite each other? No, so they are not a vertical pair. Okay, let's look at 1 and 4. Do they form a linear pair? Yes, because they form a straight line. 1 and 4, yes. Okay, 2 and 4. Are they vertical angles? No. Okay, so if we look at it for the last one, we're looking at 2 and 4. 2 and 4, they don't, like, I can't make that look like an X. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. So let's look at something that might be. Okay. 1 and 5, is that a linear pair? Yeah. Yes, because I can make a straight line. Okay. 1 and 2, does that form a linear pair? No. 1 and 4. Yeah. Okay. So see how I can make an X for 1 and 4? That's how I know it's a linear vertical angles. Okay, all right, 3 and 5. Right, because we can't make that X, right? It looks funky. Okay. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about complementary and supplementary. So, what does complementary mean again? Yes, Dina?
2 angles equal 90 degrees.
Yeah, what does supplementary mean again? 2 angles add up to 180. You're going to get them confused. It's really important that you don't. It's going to mess you up. All right, so we're looking at example 2A. Given that A is a complement of B and B is 81, what is A? So what is the measure of angle A if B is 81? 9 degrees. So it has to add up to 90. Given that C is a supplement of D and C is 27, what's angle D? Sam? 153? Should have got your calculators out for you guys. Okay, that's angle D. Yeah. That's sad. Okay. Better? Okay. Who wants to tell me angle F? E and F are complementary, so angle F would be, David? 22 degrees? Okay. Angle G is supplementary to angle H. Angle H is 152. Somebody want to raise their hand and tell me what angle G is? Jacob?
28.
28. Okay, before I go on, is anybody confused how I'm figuring those out?
Yeah.
I'm either subtracting, if it's a supplementary, I'm taking 180 and subtracting it from it. If it's complementary, I'm taking 90 and subtracting from it. Yeah? Okay. All right. We want to figure out what X and Y is and then be able to fill in all the missing measures, what they all are. Okay, so I'm only given 2 things for this first one. I'm given AEB is 6X, and I'm given AED is 3X plus 45. How would I figure out what X was? What are do they form a linear pair or vertical angles?
No,
Linear. They give you a straight line. There's no X, so I can't see the vertical angles. It forms just a straight line. So I'm going to add them together and set it equal to what?
90 or 180.
180, good. Because a straight line adds up to 180, and we know they are supplementary. Okay, so let's combine like terms. 6x plus 3x is 9x plus 45 equals 180. And then I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides. Make this 7, 10, so we get 5. 7 minus 4 is 3, so 135. Divide that by 9. 9 goes into 13.
15.
What is it?
15.
15, thank you. All right, so now what's 15 times 6? Somebody with a calculator? Samantha?
90.
90. So if that's 90, this also has to be 90. And do we see right here that these form 2 sets of vertical angles? Okay, so all these have to be 90. That was pretty easy. What? I'm going to move some of these around so I can have more room. Am I going too fast?
No.
For some of you I am.
Yeah.
Okay. I will try to slow down. I'm given 2 things. I'm given that FJG is 5y minus 50, and IJH is 4y minus 10. So I'm looking at these. Are they complementary? Do I know that they add up to 90? No. Are they supplementary? Do I know that they add up to 180? That would mean they have to be a linear pair. Are they a linear pair? Do you see a straight line between them? They're vertical angles because we form that X. So vertical angles are what to each other? Equal. Equal. They're actually opposite. Linear pairs are adjacent. So these are equal to each other. So now we just have to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 4y from both sides. And I get y minus 50 equals negative 10. I'm going to add 50 to both sides. And I get y equals 40. Okay? 40 times 50 is 200, right? 40 times 5. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 is 200. 200 minus 50 is 150. So this is 150, and this would have to be 150 because they're congruent. How would I know what these two angles are right here? Subtract from 180 because we have linear pairs, right? So 180 minus 50 is 30, so we don't have to do it for both of them because we know it's the same on both sides. That is like an angle thing right there. Okay, so who did I lose and at what step? Yes, Kaylin. So we know that y is 40. Are you okay with that? Okay, so I did 5 times 40 minus 50, and that gives me 150. I plugged it back in. I will write that down from now on. Sorry, guys. Okay, can I move on to the next one? You're all writing all of this down, right? Because you get credit when you turn in your binders on the 21st for having this all done. Okay, let's do C. Good, you have a test that day. All right. All right, is there anything, let's make this bigger. I can't even see this, and I'm right in front of it. Wow. Nice big. Okay. Is there anything I can put in right away from this? Yes, Dana, what? Angle what? There's more than one angle up here, so I can't call it you. I call it is 64 because why? Do you guys see that? They're vertical angles. Okay. We can solve this 2 ways. Anybody want to say how they want to solve it? Jacob?
Subtract 64 from 180. That's what.
Okay. So if I do 180 minus 64, 10 minus 4 is 6, 7 minus 6 is 1, so I get 116. What does that 116 give me, Jacob? Gives me which angles?
The two.
It gives me Q.
QUR and TUS.
Yep. Okay. And why did you know to do that? Because we have linear pairs, right? Okay. So if I want to figure out what y is, I just go like this. 8y equals, I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides. 11 minus 3 is 8. So y equals 10. So there was other ways to do this. I could have set both of these equal to each other and solve for y. I could have said 64 plus 14y minus 24 equals 180 and solve for y. Or I could have done it this way, where I just did 180 minus 64. Equal. Questions? How does it equal 10? So I know the whole thing equals 116. We're good there? So I subtracted 36, and then I divided by 8. Ready for the last one?
Yep.
Okay. We feeling pretty good about this?
Yep.
Okay, why don't we try this last one on your own then, and then we'll go over the answer. Okay. If you can do nothing else, can you tell me which ones are linear pairs and which ones are vertical angles? Okay.